All right, let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the edition of the Uper Farmer cigar. Guess what? We're on the deck. Finally back out on the deck. If you can't tell from the wind, whipping and blowing, sunshine, the beautiful views. We are back on the deck, ladies and gentlemen. Hooray! I decided I'll explain more of all of it here in just a little bit. But first, what are we smoking? What are we drinking? This cigar. Cigars Daily Milestone. As you guys know, I purchased my cigars from Cigars Daily. They've been in business for 10 years, so they commissioned an interesting cigar. It's got this rough leaf thing going on. I don't know if that's just a defect on mine or it's purposeful. It is good though. It's a Maduro cigar, or Maduro. Tastes good. For the beer, we have Contemplation Michigan Honey Ale. This one is made in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm kind of excited to try it. I don't know who's... Contemplation is not the brewing company, so... apparently the beer of chance. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to this camera being here. My other one, it's so natural since I use it so much more. When I do have the one on the tripod, takes a second to get used to it. All right, let's give her a pour here, see what she looks like. I'm guessing this is going to taste like a mead that's a little hopped up. But I honestly don't know. There you go, nice amber color. I'm sorry, that's a red color. Okay, not really tasting the honey. Definitely not a mead that's been hopped up, so it is nice though. My camera appears to be a little bit off kilter. There we go, that's better. Sorry about that. So anyway, why with the back out on the deck and smoking a Milestone cigar? Well, you could obviously tell from the title of the video, EMS related. As some of you might remember, about 3 years back almost, I was humming and hawing about renewing my Paramedic. Hummed and hawed about it, went back and forth. Actually, it's more like 4 years back, I guess. And initially I decided I wanted to try to get my Medic back, but then kind of life happened. I was dealing with some stuff with EMS that I kind of wanted to be done. My current job actually discouraged me from renewing my Medic. They wouldn't pay for anything. They weren't requiring it. And when I talked to my supervisor about it, she just really did not feel that me continuing on with my Medic was really any benefit to me or to... Hold on here. 1 second, right back. There you go, that's better. She just basically told me there was really no benefit for me to have it. My pay wasn't based on it. Me not having it would not be detrimental to my job at all. And a few other things she talked about where she just really didn't feel it was necessary for me to have my Medic. Again, hummed and hawed. It was going to be a lot of money, which we didn't really have at that time. Not that we have a ton now. And it was going to be a lot of time commitments. Which again, just started a new position. I don't know if I had that to commit. So I made the decision not to renew my Paramedic. I made the decision to let it lapse, go into retirement. I had done it for 20 years, over 20 years actually. Let it ride off into the sunset. Well, then this last year happened. 3 kind of major events. I talked about one of them for sure, but not to the extent that it really kind of affected me. One was this summer, my kids went away to a summer camp, and it turned out the camp nurse had quit, gotten fired, some combination thereof. So by standards, they had to have someone healthcare related, and they had someone who just graduated their EMT, no experience, never really dealt with a patient outside of having been proctored. that kid was going to, and he was only like 18, 19 years old. That kid was going to be the quote unquote camp nurse. And my heart sank. I 110% would have loved to be the camp nurse. I've done that for other groups, other programs that needed a healthcare person on staff. Really turnkey, really easy for me to step into that role. But I couldn't. I didn't have my license, and there was nothing I could do. Because it had to be a licensed individual. Even though I'd done the job for 20 some odd years, they wanted someone licensed, and I was not currently. It really did chew me up. It ate me up. Started the process. But it wasn't strong enough to the point. Sorry, I'm going to double pour here because I had some left over in the bottom. It wasn't strong enough at that point to get me to jump into classes. I did look into it. Found out that I had, I was well within the renewal time frame. So I kind of thought about hawed. Well, around about that same time, and I talked about this at length in other videos, there was the budgeting crisis at work, where we were basically told, hey, thanks but no thanks. Get ready, boys. You're all going to be looking for work. Funding's not happening. And there's not much upper management can do. Well, not a great option, but jumping on the rig was an option. Teaching more EMS classes was an option. Going back to try to revive my community CE, offering CEs to the region at a very discounted rate. Started looking, some money is better than none, and I was about to be jobless. So that really also got me a little more motivated. But what pushed me over the edge got me to say, you know what, screw it. Let's do this. Let's light this candle. Was a good friend of mine. I shouldn't say friend. He was a colleague. He was a friend, not a good friend, but a friend. Worked together. He was my priest, I taught under him, student taught under him. I taught for him for many, many years. I taught for his program. I ran classes for him, taught CE. It really helped me to get my start, if you will, in EMS education. Great guy. Name is Kurt. Really great guy. Good role model for the community members. Really good educator. I liked taking his classes. And he really gave me a shot. He gave me a shot to teach for him. And I was able to take risks, take challenges. It led to other opportunities because I had experience. And Kurt was well known in the EMS community. He suddenly died. Very sad. And I've made a video about this too. You can search it up. There's the last call out, the last page out. And I sat there and listened to Kurt's, and it was good. I mean, they're never bad, right? They're never bad. It honors the person who's fallen. A lot of symbolic or symbolism in there, a lot of meaning, a lot of purpose. They're done very specifically, very intentionally. And it kind of dawned on me, since I'm not active in EMS anymore, if I was to die, I wouldn't get one. I wouldn't get the last call out, the last pager. They wouldn't do that because I'm not active, and especially in the area I'm in. Been minimally active, zero active actually, except for a few chance happenings that I came upon, different car accidents and whatnot. I wasn't going to get my call out. I wasn't going to get that last page, and that shook me. That really shook me, that I gave up something that was a part of me, that really defined who I was and who I am, to be completely honest with you. A priest friend of mine says when he dies, they do an autopsy on him. They cut open his chest. On the back of his heart will be the word priest. He full-heartedly believes that he was meant to be a priest. I can tell you I was put on this earth to be a paramedic. I don't know if it's to run full-time anymore. get more into that here in a little bit. But I do know they crack open my chest, look at the back of my heart, it'll say EMS, it'll say paramedic. Things aren't as clear. They're the clearest when I'm thinking about EMS, when I'm on the rig, responding to a call, reflexes, fast driving, making critical decisions. For a lot of people, that would put them in a self-destructing, interloathing, anxiety, panic attack crisis. Mine, it makes me feel relaxed. My pulse rate is the lowest when I'm responding. If I get an adrenaline dump, big adrenaline boost, it is almost therapeutically calming and relaxing. I know everything's gonna be all right. I know I have this. I know there's nothing to worry about. So it's with that I realized that I was meant to be a paramedic. So that's why I finally pulled the trigger and went through the lengthy process of renewing my paramedic. Tons of classes, quite expensive actually on the fees to get it paid for. But I committed to it. And on Friday, again, I shoot these videos on Sunday, but on Friday, I got the official notification that my paramedic's license was reinstated. I'm now a licensed paramedic again in the state of Michigan. My instructor coordinator takes a little bit longer. There's more hoops they have to jump through, more stuff they have to check out and confirm. But I fully anticipate hearing about that on Monday or Tuesday or next week. So yeah, super excited about that. One, it gives me a sense of security. If everything does go tits up, as they say, I have something to fall back on. Can I get back on the rig? 100%. I'd get hired before I even put my application in. Does it give me a way to generate some revenue? A little pizza and beer money? 100%. Teach a couple classes there, teach some CEs here, design some classwork. 100% yes. Could it lead to something bigger, something more significant, more financially stable? Well, wait for that video. Let's just say it's not impossible. I don't want to spoil too much of the details, but keep an eye out. So what does it mean next? What are we going to do next? Am I jumping back on the rig? No. No, I'm not. I'm not jumping back on the rig. I'm not putting my family through that. I might not even volunteer, honestly, just because my family doesn't enjoy that. They don't like me being out on the rig. They don't like me being on call, and I can respect that. I've put them through it enough. Will I still do education? Yes. Will I do stuff like camp nurse and on-site, paramedic? 100% yes. But honestly, just having it gives me that sense of accomplishment, that feeling of I did it. That it's awesome, it's great, it's wonderful. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, be a paramedic. Again, I think it's tattooed on the back of my heart. And I really have a sense of calm and relaxation having those licenses back. And yeah, I actually feel better. So hey folks, I'm gonna go finish my actually surprisingly good beer, although I can't taste the honey. Go smoke the rest of my cigar. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.